Watch him throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep your cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of Trap or Dive Podcast. I am Yo, so the Trap or Dive Podcast, Volleyball. AJ's in here. Dre is in here as well. Administrative items, as always, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are watching on the YouTube side. What's up to everybody that's watching live? Dan's, what's up, player? Everybody else, Twitch, Twitter, hit that follow button, however which way you are watching. Try to migrate over to the YouTube side as well. But however you watch, we appreciate you watching. Audio side, man, hit the button. Follow, rate, review. Takes 10 seconds to do those. 10 seconds to do so, and it's free to show your support that way. Trap or Dive is also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Trap or Dive for first-time users. Make sure you put that code in before you play anything and when you sign up. Because if you don't use the promo code when you sign up, that's how you lose out on the bonus funds. I have to say that because a friend hit me up today trying to get situated and he found out he couldn't use the code. So just keep that in mind. What else? I think we're good on the administrative items. Film sessions out there. Go ahead, check that out. Yeah, we're good. Fellas, what's up with y'all? How y'all feeling?
Good, man. Considering the circumstances, I ain't gonna complain, but I'm here.
Oh, I was about to say, huh? But yep. I try to I'm aware, but I try to disassociate myself from that shit, bro. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? But
Dre, you got bubble guts?
That ain't me. Is that your phone?
Dre, you got the bubble guts?
Why are you saying that to me?
What? You got the bubble guts?
Where you going with this?
You said despite the situation, so I thought you had the bubble guts.
Yeah, I do. It's called government shutdown. And I'm coming into work every day. That's my bubble gut.
Yeah, bro. How much do you spend at work? Like, I mean, my bad. Let me rephrase that. How much do you spend a day commuting at work, etc.? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's it's about a 60-mile round trip for me. So
damn,
you know what I'm saying? It's like it's 30 miles each way. And then, I mean, you know, I try to get a little lunch. I don't try to eat nothing too expensive or whatever. But like I told my supervisor, I'm spending more than I'm making right now.
Yes, that's why I asked. I'm like, bro, you gotta be. I know you spending bread, like not a lot, but even still, like a lot. I mean, a little bit is a lot in a furlough, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel for you, bro. That's a whole nother stress because, like, are they because you know, I'm about to say your location, but I gotta chill. But you gotta commute, so you don't have no metro where you at anyway. Nope. You gotta take the drive. Damn,
you gotta drive regardless. So yeah, it's a bad situation. But I'm here, man. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I'm gonna make the best of everything that's gonna come through this.
You drinking tonight? Oh yeah, there you go. Yep. What you drinking?
Hey, you know, hey man. So you know, because it's a furlough, we ain't drinking bourbon tonight. We got rum. You know, rum is cheaper.
Hey, bro, how can I forget? I'm sorry. I'm over here like I knew it was another administrative item. I'm sorry. Because speaking of drinks, shout out to you. You know, because we got some drinks on deck come Sunday. Don't forget Commander's Home Rally. Santana Moss and Riley Captain, as well as Trevor Dive and D'Angelo Entertainment is hosting the official fan rally at Hyde Social in Arlington, Virginia. Food, drinks, live music, music by DJ Levels, and hookah for all the AJs out there. Go ahead, get your hookah on, and we'll have a special live performance by Old Goody. Everybody should know who that is. From what 2023, whenever that song came up, left hand up.
Yeah, left hand up, man.
Yeah, left hand up, man. 11 to 7. Riley starts at 4:00. So go ahead, tap in, have some fun at Arlington, watch the games and stuff like that. This is actually an opportunity for me to get out of Maryland so I can make these official underdog plays. So that'll be a good deal. All right, let's get into the show. Commanders, Bears, Monday night. This is a trap or dive late night. So we will be there after the game is over. But fellas, what are our initial thoughts when we think about this year's Chicago Bears and Commanders matchup? One thing I will say, I'm just so glad that Jaden Daniels refuses to acknowledge that damn Hail Mary from last year. Like, great moment, but like, let's focus on how we're gonna get the dub this week. That was one of the more important things I took away from that damn presser, because that's all I think people was asking him about. So, what do y'all think about the game, the matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I think, if you're Jaden, you got to move past that. I mean, no one wants a game to come down to a Hail Mary. You hope that you play well enough to where you don't even have to get down to that situation. But, you know, new team for both sides, a new coach on the other side. So in regards to this game on Monday, man, just looking forward to the overall matchup. I think that it's going to test Washington's back end, secondary wise. Ben Johnson definitely tries to force vertical and communication and crossers. So definitely be a test for the back end to see if they can, you know, simplify their end of their bargain and truly play discipline and trust one another. Now with Jaden, I expect him to ball out. I expect Caleb to look good in moments as well. I think it's just a battle of the brains, you know, Ben Johnson versus Joe Witt Jr. For the second time. You know, we know how the playoffs went with Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions, and that upset to many. Then on the offensive side of the ball, you got Cliff Kingsbury, you know, in the sense of battling with Ben Johnson and his play calling or whatever. So I just think that it's going to make for a great matchup. Now, weather may be a factor in this game, so we'll see if Washington really stays committed to the run game and you know, truly tries to be a balanced offensive attack. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be very entertaining, and I think that Washington will put their best foot forward.
Yeah, I think Washington has to come out and finally let everyone know that they're here. You know, I mean, you beat the Chargers, which is, on paper, your best win of the season so far. But now, can you string together a couple of wins? We haven't done anything consistently this season yet. It's been win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. But the encouraging thing about Washington so far is that they've won all of their games by double digits. Every game they've won, they pretty much dominated. The only thing is the games they've lost, they've looked bad in. So now, which is the real Washington team that's going to show up here? And I'm expecting a good performance because I think Jaden Daniels had his coming out party for the 2025 season last week. And I think he's going to build off of that. I mean, he just needed to see something go good for him, and he did in that game. And I think that's something to build off of. The thing that obviously concerns me going into this game is the defense. I mean, they played well against I always want to call them San Diego, but no, they played well against the Chargers. But now, you're coming against a Ben Johnson offense who could do so many different things. And the Bears have a lot of good pieces on that offense. This is a game where I want the defensive line to come in and kind of control this game and see, this is a decent Bears offensive line. Like Caleb, if I remember it correctly, I think he's somewhere near the top of the league as far as time to throw. Like he holds the ball for a long time, but he's also getting more time to throw because the Bears have an improved offensive line over what they did last year. And Ben Johnson knows how to scheme things up. And these guys are going to come in with a chip on their shoulder. Every one of them, like anyone that was involved with that team last year, even Ben Johnson, who wasn't involved. I mean, he has his own personal grudges for various different reasons with us. The interview process, also getting beaten in the playoffs last year. So this team is coming with a chip on their shoulder. It's kind of like the Falcons game where you're going to be facing a team that's kind of desperate and kind of hungry. But the Bears also have had 2 weeks off to prepare for this game. I want to see Washington come with it from a preparation standpoint. I don't want to question coaching in this game. I don't want to question the players' desire in this game. Like, everyone should come out hungry in this game and match what the Bears are going to bring. Because this is, like I said, just like the Falcons game, when this team is going to bring the intensity, now you got to match that intensity and more. You're at home. So like Jaden said, this is his first Monday night game at home, since he's been in the NFL. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of energy the fans bring and what the team brings.
Yeah, I think one last thing two things on my end. I think we also got to be mindful of how the Chicago Bears utilize their tight ends. They still have Cole Kmet over there, but they also drafted Colson Loveland from Michigan, who hasn't
done anything yet.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything. He's had the injury bug, but he'll be back, and that's someone that can stretch the field vertically and definitely cause some problems, especially with how Ben Johnson calls his games. Not really sure where the commentary about if Terry playing is a key to victory. No, it's not. I don't expect him to play. That's not age, but it's just I don't see him playing. Like, I really don't see him playing. But I mean, maybe you get Noah Brown.
Yeah, Terry may be back next week, bro.
I think
this
so.
Week.
Cowboy week.
Yeah.
Next week is Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys. It's actually an interesting stretch. Is Chicago, Cowboys, and Kansas City. So they got a really good stretch, and that's why
Cowboys
I think
is Cowboys a night game?
4:20. Yeah, 4:20 in Dallas. So like that's kind of like why I think, and this is stating the obvious, but getting a dub right here is important because like you want to start stacking some wins here. Like their whole start to the season is win, loss, win, loss, win. Like, this is not abnormal, right? But like you want to just start gaining. First off, how do you say it? You want to shrink the lead that the Eagles have on the division, although it's not by much, and they play tonight, so we'll kind of have an understanding of where Washington stands come Monday night. But also, you just want to start getting that confidence that like things are going to start going right for your team, and not to say that things are just completely off. Like you mentioned, like, and it didn't dawn on me, Dre, until you said it, but the Commanders' margin of victory, average margin of victory in their 3 wins, they're winning by 16 points a game. Like the games aren't even close. They aren't even one possession games, bro. And like we talk about the first 2 games, people said it was the Giants and the Raiders. The way that the Chargers performed against Washington on Sunday, and then the loss to the Giants previously, you don't know exactly where the Chargers are going to stand in the long run, but I think that the Chargers are a good team. And I say that to say, like, you beat two bad teams and you beat a good team. This is one of those ones where, like, you have another opportunity against the Chicago Bears. Like, of course, they're going to have their reasons to come in and get a dub, but, like, they're still also a team that's struggling. Their last two games, they beat Dallas and the Raiders. If you're a gambler, man, you know, like, they was just in a really good spot against the Cowboys. But, like, they were struggling against the Raiders. You have a bye week now. I think they got some people from the offensive line that's coming back. We're going to actually be talking on the back half of the show with Lester Wiltfong. Now that's a name. Lester Wiltfong.
I'm only laughing because I don't know if you're saying it right, Mo. I know.
Here you go, fucking up names again.
Lester Wiltfong, Windy City Gridiron, SB Nation family.
Mual remind me of an old grandma. You know, like they just be making up names. Don't nobody got their real name.
You know what's crazy, bro? It's like I talk trash about my mom never getting names right, bro, and like. I realized, like, in small areas of my life, like, bro, you just like her, bro. Like, she can't say Chipotle. She called it Chipotle every time. Like, I'm like, you go to Chipotle all the time, and you just forget the L, bro. Like, how?
Did she call McDonald's like most older black people do?
I'm pretty sure she does. But then I don't know if y'all. Well, I know AJ's not. But are you familiar with like Spice Black at all, Dre? You don't live near us anyway. Damn. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. Anyway, I'm just like her. Anyway, Lester's gonna be joining us on the back half of the show. We'll kind of get an understanding of their injury reports, but also the offensive line aspect. They're getting some people back, but like listening to a couple of clips here and there today about like from the Bears' perspective, like their offensive line is generally playing better. They're giving him more time to throw. I don't know if that's necessarily translating well for the quarterback himself in terms of his decision making, right? Because like there's still some times where he's just in the games that I saw just unnecessarily holding the ball too long. So you got to find a way to get the ball out if you're on Cliff's side. If you're on Caleb's side, but at the end of the day, this is a game where you look at the Chicago's offense and you say, again, if we get down to the pressure, the pass rush, and we put pressure on Caleb Williams, it's just another situation of what you can look like in a what's up, AJ? Because I'm over here confused right now. Like,
bro, who is this person, dog? They try to say Dre look like a Georgia.
He said
Dre look like a Georgia Bulldog.
And
then I don't know if they talking about me, but they say he look hungry even while he chewing.
You the only one that's chewing.
I don't know who this troll is, but hey,
Drake look like he from. It's one
of his man.
No, he didn't. No. He said. I think he heard me say. I think he heard Drake when I was talking to Drake. So I think he's saying Dre looks like he. I think he's talking about Dre. All right. Anyway, where am I at? Sorry,
he said they went to school together back in 1995. So
I have no clue who that is.
Anyway, you get pressure on Caleb. You get him like secured in the pocket, bro. You contain him, play smart. I think this is another instance of like your defense finding a way to limit the explosive plays. And that's kind of where I'm at defensively. I do appreciate like the weapons that they have. You mentioned the tight ends. I think that's a big deal, but I'm more so concerned about like DJ Moore. Like they use him like how the Cowboys use a CD Lamb, or how Washington even uses a Debo. In the sense of like they use him out of the backfield sometimes. That's just generally been his juxtaposition, or how they've been used in Chicago. I don't know why I use that word, but DJ Moore is just like that utility weapon for Chicago, and ultimately like he's the guy who can make or break a game. Roman Dunze obviously like the possession guy, but like the receiving core is the team, is the group of skill positions that I actually want them to to actually like pay close attention to. That run game. DeAndre Swift, he popped off last year with one big run, but I don't trust their run game at all this year. Just like I didn't trust anything that they did last year in the run game either.
And that's what you have to focus on the pass defense, because every game this season, one thing that's been a constant or a consistent theme is Washington can stop the run this year. I mean, that was the weakness that they had last year. And that was obviously the focal point of the offseason when Adam Peters and them went out there to go build the team. They went out there to focus on stopping the run. And so far, those results have turned out well. But the issue is the pass defense. And I know from people that's watched film, and, Mual, you watched it. We had Nick Ackrich on the other day, and other people I kind of listened to watch film. They're saying that, even in this Chargers game when you played well, there were still issues in that secondary. There were still issues that if the pass rush didn't get there, we would have been burned on a couple of plays, and we may have seen a different ball game. So it's going to be an issue because, Ben Johnson is chomping at the bit to get at those guys. Like Ben Johnson, he's going to scheme up those passing plays. Like, I'm not necessarily worried about DeAndre Swift and what they could do in the run game, because I do trust what Washington's front seven can do against Chicago in this game. But again, I'm worried about, what does Ben Johnson have up his sleeve? Are those guys going to be disciplined? I listened to Joe Witt today, just to kind of get, some of his thoughts on this game coming up. And he mentioned this is going to be another one of those odd discipline games, because he knows that Ben Johnson likes to run trick plays. They're going to run all kinds of motion. They're going to do the things they've seen on film that has kind of got Washington in deep water this year. So are you going to be ready with the odd discipline? And this is one of those games where I am honestly looking at coaching, because if it's an eye discipline issue, again, because you're not telling me it's a talent issue at this point, if it's an eye discipline issue, if you're going into this game knowing that your game plan is going to be, a lot of eye discipline, I expect those players to be ready to handle that stuff, because this is something they've seen already this season. Now, I do want to give Joe Witt some credit. As he was talking about the game last week, he mentioned they went into the game with a specific game plan.
Game plan in the trade.
Yeah. As far as exactly, they went, mostly they wanted to play man, but they obviously had to go to zone after they were getting beaten man a lot in the game. That's adjustment. So that was encouraging to see that Joe Witt and them has learned from previous mistakes. Now, what happens in this game? I don't know if the game plan is going to come out successful. Hopefully, we don't have to make too many adjustments. Hopefully, the game plan is pretty sound. But if things start to go a little bit south, in the game, hopefully they're able to make some adjustments pretty quick so things don't spiral and keep spiraling. But yeah, we're definitely going to be on notice for the pass defense in this game, because that's been the weakness all season, the Achilles heel of this team right now.
Who are the guys that has to step up defensively? Like if we're talking about this game in particular. Like let's limit it to like two players. But who are your two that really has to have a big day against Chicago Monday night?
Quan Martin, for one, that's the first name that obviously pops up to mind, because Quan Martin has just not had the season that any of us have expected him to have up to this point. Like, this is a guy who, for me, I was expecting him to kind of take this leap, maybe even possibly become a Pro Bowl type player. But right now, he hasn't really played at a starter level so far this season. And I do think that if that's one thing you're going to do to shore up that back end is your deep safety. That Quan Martin, he has to step up. He has to play big. He has to be ready for a lot of those things. And my second guy, it's not a guy that has been an issue this season. It's actually been a guy that's been great all year, but it's on the defensive line. And that's Javon Kinlaw. Like, Javon Kinlaw.
Well, that was my guy. Like, yeah. Javon just got to turn up, bro.
Yeah.
I told you, that boy looked like the strongest person on the team. On the field. Yeah. Every time he on the field, bro. Just turn up, bro.
Yes. And, for Javon Kinlaw, if he's playing at a top level or a high level, I think everyone else in that defensive line feeds off of that. And this is a game where you need that defensive line to be at a top level, because you don't want to put that back in too many situations where they're not, comfortable with that Chicago offense. So, yes, those are my two, Quan Martin and Javon Kinlaw.
Hey, I don't know if you heard the question, but just like, who are your two guys? If you had to name your top two, who are your two guys that has to have a big night Monday night against Chicago defensively? Can you hear me? AJ,
you good?
Yeah, it's kind of choppy on my end, so I didn't really hear what you said. My bad.
I said if you had to name, who are your two guys on Washington's defense? Your top two guys that has to have a good day against Chicago Monday night.
Oh man, that's a tough question. But I would say, damn, I don't even really want to say two individual guys, but I
Just
would
name two, bro.
say Deron Payne and Javon Kinlaw. The main reason why I say that is because they can force Caleb Williams to get out of the pocket, and that way I feel like Washington would be in a better position as far as being able to cover downfield. But I think that immediate impact right in front of Caleb Williams' face could be huge in helping like a Dorrance Armstrong get some sacks, maybe a Frankie Louvu, Von Miller, Jacob Martin. I think that those two combined together can create immediate impact and havoc on the Chicago Bears offense from the run game and pass game. And
Yeah,
don't put that AJ in the Whole Foods shit up. I don't know where that came from, but
now we heard you scanning out that one day, bro.
Hey.
Got the nerve to be on the show
bro,
when you scanning out of a
I was
line,
at
bro.
Trader Joe's, like, bro, like real life things be going on. I can't shop at Whole Foods. I ain't got money like that.
Shit, Trader Joe's just be
But
even more expensive.
do I look like I shop at Whole Foods?
Do I look like I was left off bad and Bucci? All right. For me, man, I'm not gonna rehash the Javon Kinlaw. That was definitely one of my guys, but I like the way that they use Frankie Louvu against the Chargers. Just sometimes it's decoy, sometimes actually had a schemed up play for him to just go after the quarterback. But like I think this is another opportunity for Frankie Louvu in terms of his like I don't know the right word, but just to like find him spots to go cause havoc for Caleb from I need to keep eyes on him. Like I need to make sure that we are accounting for him at all times. I think this is one of those opportunities again where like Frankie Louvu's just presence can make an impact. I just think also too, like, he gets a lot of matchups now with offensive linemen, as opposed to like running backs and things of that nature. This is just some of those matchups now. Like when you 6 games in, you better start figuring out a way to beat him. And I'm not saying he's not, but he ain't doing it consistently. He's more so doing it with his quickness, and it helps him not get touched, right? So you're gonna have to find a way to start getting past these offensive linemen when those things are schemed up in like one-on-ones when you're rushing from the second level. But obviously, I know Joe Witt is probably trying to get him matched up on running backs from a schematic standpoint. So whenever you have those opportunities where you got a full green light at the quarterback, I think that Frankie Louvu's impact is going to be, or his opportunities against Chicago Monday night is going to be big. All right, so we got Jordan McGee in the chat. We have Mikey and Jazan. We have Mike and Marshawn. We have said Revo. He was just mentioning Revo, getting all the snaps. He's been up and down. Quan and Marshawn from Subscribe or Die, and then Vaughn. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and take a break. Let's talk about these people over there at Underdog Fantasy, and when we come back, we should have Lester. But if not, we'll kind of turn it to the offense. All right. So let me tell y'all people about Underdog Fantasy. Football season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in all the action. Oh, those my trans. I was about to say, I know I was winning something. My bad. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats such as rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. We've done the Sunday night. We've done the Thursday night. We're going to go to the Commanders game on Monday night. Who do we have available? We have rushing and receiving touchdowns. I don't know why they have Terry up here. Do they know something that I don't? All right. So we're going to go. We're going to go higher on Deebo Samuel. He's going to get another touchdown. We're going to go higher on. Where's Krosky Merritt? We're going to go higher on Krosky Merritt's touchdown. We're going to go higher on DeAndre Swift and his touchdowns. And I think we're going to leave it there for this one. We're not going to go too big. So we're leaving on a 3-pick play. So run that back one more time. We got higher on Deebo Samuel touchdowns. We got higher on Bill Merritt touchdowns. And then we're going to go higher on DeAndre Swift touchdowns for the Monday night game. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code TRIBALDIVE to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That is promo code TRIBALDIVE. Underdog. Make picks. Win money.
Be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
All right, so I got a question because I mentioned Deebo, and I have an article from Hogs Haven. Bill Horgan, shout out to you, buddy. Teammate. Was the Deebo Samuel trade the steal of the all season in 2025? And trying to see. I'll leave it there flat out because we got a few minutes until Lester's scheduled to join. So let's go ahead and kind of get into that. What do you think, Dre? Now, granted, there is a ton of things that you have to consider, and I wish I had all of those transactions in front of me. But I ain't gonna lie to you. If you had to just do surface level information, it's hard to sit here and look at Deebo's 5 games so far and say, you know, he's definitely one of those acquisitions from this offseason that's like bona fide top 5.
Yeah, but see, and I'm with you more. Like I would have to see all of the other transactions that went down. But I mean, shit for us, hell yeah. I mean, so far, I did a little, award thing last night through the quarter season. So far, if you had to put it out there, Deebo will be the MVP of this team right now. Like he doesn't look like he's anywhere close to washed as what everyone wanted you to believe before the season. Like Deebo looks like almost, probably damn near as good as any version of Deebo has looked, to this point in the season. And funny thing is he's battling injuries and he's playing through them and he's still very effective. But this is also the best quarterback situation that he's played with as well with Jaden Daniels. Like, and it may be also helping him a bit that Terry McLaurin's not playing, he's out. So that's more targets to Deebo's way. Jaden has seemed to have gained a really good trust with him. And I'm looking forward to see how that, continues to, matriculate. But so far this season, you couldn't really ask more of Deebo. He's not even just doing it, on offense. He's also on special teams. He's made big plays. But the thing that I think probably has surprised me the most about Deebo, and I ain't going to say surprise, so to speak, but it may have surprised others, but what he's done as a receiver so far this season. Like, I think a lot of people assume when we made the trade for Deebo, he was just going to be a gadget guy, screen pass type of guy, like kind of how Kyle Shanahan used him in San Francisco. But he's been winning in almost every kind of way on offense. They have utilized him a few times, as a ball carrier on the screen passes, but he's winning downfield. He's winning on crossers. He's winning on slants. And when he gets the ball in his hand, he's as dynamic as ever with the ball. So, again, I don't know, what we can compare him to as far as trade-wise with other teams around the league. But if you're talking about for this team, he's definitely been a damn steal for us. Like I would do that trade 11 times out of 10 every time. If you're talking about a 5th-round pick for what we got out of Deebo Samuel, it's worth it, 100%.
So I don't know if you heard everything, AJ, but the question was Deebo Samuel the steal of the acquisition still of the offseason?
If he's what of the season?
If he was the steal of the offseason.
Will he be re-signing the offseason?
No. Can you hear me, AJ? Am I choppy?
I can't really hear, but I'll talk about Deebo. I'll gloat on Deebo a little bit. He's having an amazing start to his Washington career. You see the impact that he can have as a player. He's a true weapon, and Washington has really lacked weapons on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, now you have Jaden Daniels at quarterback, but you really haven't had a guy like Debo Samuel to be able to catch a ball 5 yards and be able to get yards after the catch. He's typically breaking the first tackle. I think that he can be involved even more in the vertical game. I just think that he also is very capable of blocking in the run game from coming from San Francisco and playing in that Kyle Shanahan offense. He understands the importance of run blocking at his position. You know, I was kind of trolling or whatever. I normally don't even admit to that, but he's definitely started off to have a better season than Terry. I understand people will go to, and Maul did. He touched on the injury, but it's like it's still a better season.
No,
You
bro.
know?
That when he got hurt, Terry had more yards from scrimmage than Debo. Like that was literally your argument in the offseason. When he got hurt, Terry had more yards from scrimmage than that man.
And now he don't. So
bro, I don't even need to. I don't even need to have. Let's go ahead and
who's playing and who's not.
Let's go ahead. That wasn't. Let's go ahead and move on, bro. Let's go ahead and move on, bro. Let's get the good man. Let's get the good man Lester in here. Like I said, Lester covers the Chicago Bears for Windy City Gridiron, the SB Nation family. And how do I get this in? Oh, there we go. What's going on, Lester? How you feeling, boss man? Appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. How about y'all?
All right.
I am doing good. We're doing good. I think for both sides, we all have our own interest in. I mean, well, first off, we're fans and obviously cover the teams, our respective teams, but we also have some form of added juice with this matchup because of last year's draft situation. Caleb, Jaden, this is the round 2 in somewhat of a sense, but also you all have a new head coach. Ben Johnson, he's connected to Washington as well from the last year's coaching circuit. What has life been like 4 games in? You all had a bye week, 4 games into the Ben Johnson era, and how has Caleb Williams looked under Ben?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at last year, what happened? It was Matt Eberflus was awful. I mean, he was just a terrible head coach. He was bad from the get. I mean, he just it just was bad. So I've been pining for Ben Johnson since last year. So the fact that they finally got the guy that most pundits thought was the top mind on the market, Ben Johnson, he's been as advertised, man. I mean, when he came in, a lot of the questions was, oh, can this guy lead a room, right? Because he has his reputation as being this kind of a nerdy offensive genius guy, but he's a hard ass, man. I mean, he does not mess around. He's very detail orientated. He expects things done a certain way at all times. And that's what Caleb needs. Caleb's been looking for hard coaching. He wants to be coached hard, as do most professionals, right? They want a guy that kind of holds them accountable. He didn't get it last year, so it was a slow start to camp. A lot of inconsistent stuff going on with the offense. We kind of saw that kind of play out during the first few games, but the offenses slowly looked a little better. They're kind of putting things in on the fly, and last year was a wash, man. The Shane Waldron offensive coordinator, he was fired. The head coach is fired. Thomas Brown came in to call plays. It just was a mess last year, and last year was a wash. So far this year is all looking pretty good.
Now, with everything being said, and you said that Ben Johnson was on your wish list, and now you feel as he's lived up to your wish list. At the quarterback position, do you feel like you guys have that position figured out for the future, or is it still in limbo?
I mean, look, you never really know until you get a guy and then he's there for a while. I mean, anything can happen. But look, last year, the numbers don't really reflect it, but there were a lot of positive things he did last year. A lot of bad things too. I mean, we all know the sacks. A lot of the sacks were on him. But overall, that offense last year was a mess. So that's why I kind of look at last year was it had to happen to get the Bears where they are now, right? If last year didn't happen, they're not going to have Ben Johnson right now and Caleb paired together. I mean, that's why Ben Johnson came to Chicago. He said he wanted to go there to coach Caleb. Those guys are together now. So do I think Caleb's the man going forward? Yeah, I think he is. But like I said, that can change. I mean, this is, at the end of the day, it's still not Ben's guy. He didn't draft him. He may have come to Chicago for him. But, we still got to see how this marriage works out. But like I said, so far, so good. I mean, they both have been saying all the right things. The progression's been happening how Ben wants it. Caleb's getting the kind of coaching he needs. And it looks like they were serious in the offseason, kind of building this up around Caleb, because they addressed the offensive line, something that they've really neglected the last few years. So, I mean, to me right now, it looks like the path is a good one for Caleb in Chicago.
Well, for me, I'm looking at the defensive side of the football, and I understand there's been a little bit of issues this year for Chicago. I know, especially when you talk about run defense, that's been an issue. What can you kind of attribute so far has been kind of some of the root of those issues when you look at the Bears? I know there's been some injuries. I know Grady Jarrett has been, dealing with injuries. And then, you got Kyle Gordon, who's supposed to be a big part of the secondary. He hasn't played a game this season, I don't think, but I think he's playing this week. But what can you say has been some of those things that attributed to Chicago's poor defensive woes so far?
Yeah, I mean, the defense has been bad. I mean, you mentioned the run defense are the worst in the league. And then, of course, Washington comes in with the best running attack in the league. So this is not a good matchup on paper for the Bears. But look, it's a new scheme. Dennis Allen comes in, and it's not what they used to with Flus. So all the holdover players, they were all playing one gap last year. This year, they're asked to play a little more gap and a half. Sometimes they're playing two gap stuff. They're playing a little different scheme. And I think right now they're just kind of trying to figure out exactly what they have to do as a unit. I think they'll get better as they go on. Look, the weirdest thing about this Bears defense is, and as bad as it's been, they have the number one third down defense in the league, which is weird to me. I just saw that stat recently. I'm like, how is this even a thing? Look, teams are killing them on first and second, so they're not in a lot of third down opportunities. But when they get to that point of third down, they're stepping up. They're making a play. They're getting a big turnover when they have to. They're getting the pressure when they have to. So pressures are down, sacks are down, but somehow, some way, they're finding a way to kind of stay in some of these games here. And I think, as you mentioned, Grady Jarrett's been out. Kyler Gordon's back this week. Jaquan Brisker's he looks like he may be out this week. He's out with practice for the quad. Jalen Johnson, their all-pro corner, he's been out most of the season. So they got some issues they're trying to work around. And I think right now that as the coaching staff's trying to figure out the best way to do that.
What about that offensive line? If we were to flip sides for Chicago, last year, it was, you can describe it how you want to. But this year y'all didn't waste no time getting as many additions as you all can to help Caleb Williams out. And obviously, overall run game and pass game. How's the offensive line looked throughout the first quarter of the season?
Yeah, I mean, the O-line's been much better. I mean, like I said, a lot of those sacks last year obviously was partly on Caleb, partly on the scheme. I mean, there were so many times last year where there was just no outlet. Like the quarterback drops back. He had nowhere to go with the ball. I'm not sure if that was a Shane Waldron thing, if he just had it built in, or if the players weren't executing properly. But so far this year, the interior has been pretty solid. Joe Thuney has been like all-pro level, playing really good there. They've had some issues at tackle. Darnell Wright at right tackle. He got hurt a couple weeks ago. He missed the last game. They had to play an undrafted free agent out of Canada who kind of played the right side. Then he kicked over to the left side because Braxton Jones has not really come back fully from that injury. So they've been solid inside. The tackles have been an issue. So if they get Darnell Wright back this week, that means that Ben Johnson only has to cover up one bad tackle. That's going to be the left side, which is this week. They haven't announced it yet, but it looks like Braxton Jones is on the bench. They're going to put Theo Beneday, the Canadian undrafted free agent, over there on the left side, who he has looked better on the left side, and he has looked better in the run game. I'm still a little concerned about his pass blocking, but like I said, if you as a play caller only have one place you have to really cover up, I think Ben Johnson can kind of figure out the best way to go about that.
Question: how was the fan base, and when Chicago took Loveland over Warren? Like, I was just thinking about that because I know that was a big deal then. Like, obviously those were the top two tight end prospects, but it was presumed that you all would take Warren, and then y'all hit the audible or the site you thought and went with Loveland. Like, what was how's things going on with him, but also like how was that decision or the reaction to the decision? Then
I think what it comes down to is that Loveland plays more of he's a true move tight end. He's not an inline guy. Whereas Warren's a pretty good athlete. He's a better blocker. He's more of a classic inline guy. And the Bears have Cole Kmet at that spot. And they wanted a guy that can move around the offense. And Colson Loveland did that in Michigan. He's a little better athlete than Warren was. So I think that just with Ben Johnson, he kind of sees what he had in Detroit with Sam Laporta. Similar skill set, right? You can move them all around. You can come out of the backfield. You can play on the wing. You can split out wide. So I think that was the plan with Loveland. The problem with Loveland is he had a late start to camp because he was still coming back for that injury. So he had a kind of a slow start to the season. And then 2 weeks ago, he hurt his hip. So he appears to be back this week, which is fortunate for Chicago because prior to his injury, they seem to be starting to want to feature him a little more. So if that's the case, he is a very good mismatch against most defenses. So I think we're going to see more. I think we'll see more 12 personnel. Cole Kmet, man, the last game against the Raiders was probably his worst game as a pro. He only was credited with one drop, but there were like 3 catches that he probably could have made. Blocking was bad, and it came at a bad time because, like I said, Loveland missed that game. So they were trying to feature the tight end, and Cole Kmet couldn't step up. So I think we'll see more Loveland this week if he's good to go, which it seems like he will be. And that's good because, like I said, he's a mismatch, great athlete, big size, real big wingspan, a real good catch radius. So I think that's going to be something the Bears want to focus on moving forward.
So we all know what happened last year in the matchup of Washington and Chicago. Tyreek Stevenson is making his return back to Washington, D.C. But with your secondary, you guys are missing a lot of key parts in Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson. How do you feel that back end will hold up against Washington's offense and going against a Deebo Samuel, possibly Noah Brown returning? Luke McCaffrey's had a streak of 2 solid games, and just defending the pass in general with Cliff Kingsbury's offense, who another connection that we kind of forget about, was supposed to become the OC for the Chicago Bears before they gave Shane Waldron the job.
It's going to be a challenge for sure. Like I said, the defense has had some issues. Jalen Johnson being out obviously hurt them. He's a Pro Bowl corner. Kyler Gordon vows to be back. He said he'll be back. He said he'd be back last week, and it didn't happen. But this week he's actually practiced a little bit so far. He says, it's going to happen. So he should make his debut. And that's going to be big because Dennis Allen, the Bears D coordinator, he talked about using Kyler Gordon all over that defense. He kind of wants to use him like kind of an agent of chaos, kind of how he did when he had the Honey Badger in New Orleans. And that's kind of skill set he has. He plays nickel, but he also can play outside. He has played some safety reps before. So they'll kind of move around looking for mismatches on the defense. And you mentioned Tyreek Stevenson. Fans were down on him in Chicago. Obviously the thing at the Hail Mary, what the hell are you doing? And that really kind of tanked not only the Bears season, but tanked his season.
Well, I think y'all lost like 10 straight after that or something like that.
It was awful. Look, in hindsight, I am glad that happened because that was the catalyst to get Matt Eberflus's ass out of Chicago.
Well,
he was exposed. He was exposed that game for being a jackass.
The crazier thing, the year before that game, Ron Rivera was the coach of the Washington Commanders. And that win that you guys had on Thursday Night Football saved Matt Eberflus's job. Basically, it was rumored he was being fired. And because of such a great performance against a piss poor team, that ended up saving him, and he was retained because he was supposed to be, from what I had heard, he was supposed to get fired. He was going to be out of Chicago Friday. And it's just interesting how, for some reason, these two teams are now back connected. I know it goes back in the day in the 80s, when Darryl Green broke his rib and returned a punt or whatever, a kickoff return. There's always been some type of clash between Washington and Chicago, but now it seems like it's picked up a little bit more because, we kind of help you guys keep your head coach and Matt Uberfuss. Then we helped get rid of him, and and then you guys took Caleb 1, we took Jaden, and now there's a battle between 1 and 2. So yeah, just to bring that up, I think it's been a pretty interesting connection over the past couple years.
No, I mean it's a fun rivalry for sure. I mean, you mentioned the Darryl Green era. I'm a Bears fan going, a long time ago, the 80s. I mean, I go back that far, so I'll never forget Darryl Green coming back and deciding to return a punt in the playoff game. Like, what the hell are you doing? As soon as I saw the him go back there, I'm like, this is not going to happen. This is bad news. And of course, he takes it back to the house. And, I think that might have been Walter Payton's last game as a pro. So it's like, yeah, I got this thing against Washington for a long time. But look, it's a good rivalry. I mean, these are two, top franchises through the history of the NFL. So I think it's good. If these two franchises are good again, I think that's good for the league.
Well, for me, I wanted to go back, not to harp on the Hail Mary too much, because no one on the Washington side really wants to talk about it. Like they're over it. They want to move past it. Yeah. But from the Bears' perspective, do you think there's still something lingering there? And is there going to be extra juice for some of those players that was involved in that situation last year for this game?
The good thing is it's a new coaching regime, so it's not going to be a focal point. But, there are a lot of players that were here last year. Obviously, Tyreek Stevens here is still here from last year, and he was the guy, right? He was the guy that was, being lippy with the fans there, and he kind of ignored his responsibilities. But, this year, Tyree Stevenson has kind of talked about it. He's kind of turned his season around. In the last few weeks, he has been playing at a pretty high level. I think his pass rate against is like 60. So he went from being one of the worst corners in the game last year. So far this year, he's picked things up a bit. So yeah, I think the players want that revenge. I mean, look, and for Caleb too. Caleb had a bad game last year in that game. I mean, that was probably one of his worst games. He started off horrible. He kept playing bad, except for the fourth quarter. He had it all turned around there in the fourth quarter. He kind of brought the game back. Everyone thought, oh my God, Caleb did it. He has that clutch gene. He brought him back, and of course, the Bears kept a timeout in their pocket. They didn't get things set up. Hail Mary happened. It is. So I think the players that were here last year want to get it back. But I think the coaching staff, to their credit, they should probably just kind of just be low key about it. It's just another game on the schedule.
Well, Ben Johnson has his own little differences with Washington from the interview process when he was coaching. Well, he was going for the head coaching job, and also getting knocked out of the playoffs when he was with Detroit last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so there's revenge factors all around for the Bears. Yeah. So with any luck, from my point of view, I hope they come out and they put it to y'all.
Hey, well, I respect it because if I was on, I'm joining your friend
Taylor.
Taylor to do the podcast. But if I was on your show, I'd be saying the same thing. So I want to give you the floor now. Lester, appreciate you joining us. On really a short notice. I wish I could have reached out earlier, but I appreciate you joining us to give us some time and breaking things down from a Chicago perspective. First off, prediction. How do you feel like the game is going? And then plug anything and everything that you got going on, boss man.
So as far as prediction, man, I wish I could go Bears. I just don't see it happening. I think you guys have too strong of a run game. The rookie Bill, I mean, this guy is ridiculous. 6.6 yards a pop. Obviously, with Jaden, he can run back there a bit. I mean, that's a good, solid run game, good schemed up run game. And if we talked about the Bears, man, they have the worst run defense in the game. So I think it's going to be a close game because I think the Washington's going to run over the Bears, and I think they're going to keep running. It's going to be a slow moving clock. 24-13 Washington. I just don't see how the Bears can do this. And I mean, unless Caleb goes nuclear or something weird happens, I think that'd be great. But y'all got such a good run game, and the Bears cannot stop anybody in the run game. So, and as far as my stuff, all my writing stuff's at Windy City Gridiron. All my podcast video stuff is at Second City Gridiron.
Boom. There it is. Hey, Lester, appreciate you once again. Stay safe. Enjoy your weekend. And I would wish you best of luck on Monday, but I can't do that.
It's all right. It's okay. All right, man. Take it easy, guys. Take it.
All right. Take care, man.
Yeah. There is. I intentionally tried not to say his last name, because I did not want to butcher it. But Wester Wiltfong. I hope I said that right. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. All right, let's get out of here with the offense, like a quick offensive overview. And then get into our predictions. Look, man, I did my best. I think I said it right. I ain't gonna lie to you. I said it right, bro.
Hey, man, I don't know, bro. Like, hey.
All right, hey, rate and review too. I say rate and review. Like and subscribe if you on the YouTube side as well. Appreciate everybody just checking in. What's up, Disco? I got your DM too, but guess what, bro? Brother's on a furlough. I mean, you did take care of your boy and Dre when we went out there, so I believe in you. So I'm gonna keep that date in mind. But you know, furlough mall is a little different mall, man. But we're gonna see what's up. Appreciate you checking in though. Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, disco was blessing and blessing, you know. Anyway, all right, offense. So the one thing he mentioned was Bill, and I think offensively, like, find a way to. First off, side note, Chris Rodriguez was hurt, and he was I'm looking for the injury report right now. My thing will load up. Oh Lord, is this it? Yeah, here it is. Okay, he's a DNP on Thursday, dealing with a calf injury. So that being said, I don't think he's not going to play. If he doesn't, that's one thing. But I think that this is another game for Bill to shoulder the load in the run game. But I think for the offense altogether, they don't have that many sacks the Chicago Bears does. Shout out to the chat also for pointing that out. But also, like, when we're talking about getting that run game established and then finding a way to get the play action involved, especially against a defense, like if you can get these guys to come down in the box and try to defend this run, because realistically speaking, like, you don't really have a true guy that you have to like shift your focus to in terms of like dictating your coverage offensively, right? Of course, you got to have eyes on Debo, but like if that run game is a little bit dominant, they're not going to just keep too high. They're going to bring that extra man down in the box to try to defend our run, and they're going to challenge our receivers to make plays. And I say that to say, like, if this run game gets established, whether they have that extra man in the box or not, like that's going to be the key to this game. But also, you're going to need consistency from the back end outside of Debo, like those Lukes he has to stack on. Like, he's not having like 5-6 catch games, 70, 80 yards, but he's having like these impactful one-offs, like the back end touchdown against Atlanta, and then obviously the deep bomb to get them out of their own territory against Los Angeles. Like, keep stacking those moments, because I think Jaden is going to keep going to him in absence of Terry. So I really think it comes down to building that run game. But like once that starts popping off, these depth receivers, these contributors are going to have to start stepping up or continue to step up in absence of Terry, because it's going to come down to like who makes the bigger plays to keep this offense on the field. And like those third down numbers we talked about, that's real. But that's what also is going to keep these guys on the field. It's an effective run game. God damn, I need some water. Go ahead, bro. Effective
Don't
run game.
die. Don't die.
I'm all struggling over that motherfucker. Any on
Don't
mute?
die.
No, I was calling. I was saying, do I got tip, bro? I was really fighting for my life just now, bro. Yeah, bro. Damn. Go ahead. I'm what's up with y'all offense, bro? Go ahead. Talk. Somebody talk.
Hey, man. I guess just offensively, bro, like, I think it's just key for Cliff to get the run game started, because once you see him get in this bag, run game wise, he can play off of so many different things, and that's truly the key to success for him. I think sometimes, you know, as a play caller, you get in your own head and get in your own way, but I think that he should be disciplined, you know, especially just playing the Chargers, who didn't have like a terrific run defense. You got to keep feeding the hot. You got to keep feeding the hot hand, and that may be Bill, that may be Rodriguez, that may be McNichols. Who knows if Rodriguez can't play? Maybe Chase Edmonds gets a look. Like, you just got to feed those guys. You also can get Debo involved in that game. I love the fact that they in the early drives forced the defense to respect the fact that Jaden was going to run. I think you got to do the same thing once again. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to the game overall. Like I said, the weather may be rain in the forecast, so that'd be huge for the run game to get developed. I think that you were able to see John Bates and Ben Sinnott be impactful in the blocking game, and just play off of that, get into some play action, roll out, roll out Jada, let him create outside of the pocket.
Yeah, I think this is the game where the offense actually takes off with Jaden under center. When you look at the games Jaden has played in so far this season, the Giants game, even though they, to me, they beat the Giants pretty handily, the offense still has some moments where you're like, they were off a little bit. Jaden might have been a little bit of rusty from, the offseason, whatever. Of course, you know what happened in the Packers game. Then last game, it was like Jaden's back. And, it took them a little time to get started. But once they got started, everything looked good. But I think this is the game where they go out and show who they truly are for the season. Like, this is our coming out game as an offense with Jaden leading the helm to show you all we are back. And, in my prediction, I'm going to kind of reflect that, what I think is going to happen. But Jaden, I think they do have to, have the run game going. I mean, obviously it's a weakness for Chicago. And I don't want to come out here trying to be too cute in this game. I mean, Cliff did that early on in the Chargers game where he tried to run the quarterback power play, second play of the first drive. I want to come out immediately establishing that run against Chicago. I know you want to be different. I know you want to show different things, but let's let them prove that they can stop this before we go another direction, before we start going pass happy. I want Chicago. I want you to go out there and make Chicago stop the run game. Make Chicago show that they can actually stop the run. And if they can't stop the run, that's what you're going to lean on. And if they can't stop the run, everything else on that offense is going to open up. But this is not the side of the football that I'm honestly really worried about. I think this is the side of the football that's really ready to really break out and go out there and have themselves a season. And I think this is the game to really do that. The stage is set Monday night, prime time. This is when stars like Jaden can go out there and shine. And I do think that's going to happen on Monday night.
All right. Let's get into some over-unders. All right. I'm gonna give y'all two. I gotta answer the door right quick. Jaden Daniels. We're gonna go. Where's his passing yards? Okay. 215.5. Wait, can I do passing and rushing? Because that'll be a good one for both of them. Oh, it's not available yet. Okay. Passing yards for Jaden Daniels. 215.5. We're gonna go higher or lower?
Higher.
Okay, I'm gonna go higher.
I'm gonna go higher. Yeah, I'm gonna go higher.
All right, I'm gonna go higher as well. Where are we at? Let's go to rushing yards. Bill 60.5. Let's do this. Wait, Bill 60.5 and Jaden Daniels is at 45.5.
I'm gonna go Bill higher, Jaden lower. Actually, no, I'm gonna go higher both. Yeah, I'm gonna go higher both. I think this is the game where the running game really shines. Yeah, yes. Put me down for both.
Yeah, I'm gonna go higher Bill and lower on Jaden.
Okay. I'm going higher on both. And then let's do one for the receiving side. Receiving yards. I'm not going to go Deebo or Terry. I'm going to go. Oh, they don't even have him on here. That's crazy. I was looking for Luke McCaffrey. Let's see if it's on another app that I shall not mention on this stream. All right, let's see if they have it on this one.
I bet it's like 30 something, maybe lower.
Looking. They don't. Player receiver. Yeah, they don't. Oh, that's why. Because it's probably because it's Monday night, so they don't have all the players available. All right, so we'll leave it there because they don't have all the players available. Let's check the chat. We got higher on Bowie, higher on Bill, lower on JD. We got a score prediction: 34-21 Washington. All right, so let's go ahead and get to our score predictions. Get up out of here. Y'all got the floor first. Whoever wants to take the floor, I gotta go to get the door right quick.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's going to be a solid game. I got Washington 38, Chicago Bears 17. I think that the MVP of the game will be Jaden Daniels from an offensive standpoint. And then defensively, I think that it will be Deron Payne and Javon Kinlaw. I think that they wreak havoc on that offensive line. I think that they work as a duo, and they stop that run game and also produce with some sacks against Caleb Williams and that crew.
As I mentioned earlier, I think this is the big breakout game for the offense with Jaden at the helm. So with that said, I'm going 41 Washington, Bears 24. And I do think Jaden is going to be the MVP. I think the stars shine bright when the lights are brightest. Monday night, home game. Jaden is going to show out for the home crowd. So yes, 41-24, Jaden MVP.
Yeah, damn, a 40 burger, bro.
Yes, sir.
That looked good against Chicago. I ain't gonna lie to you. That looked real good against them too. Caleb and Ben, all love to Caleb, but you know who to smoke really with. It's that fan base. Okay. I'm going to go Washington 28, Chicago 21. I think it'll come down to like a possessions game. But I do think Washington doesn't really struggle at all offensively. But you never know how things really turns out. But 28-21, Washington wins. I think the MVP offensively, I think it's gonna be Bill. And defensively, I am going to go. They got some receivers over there. Somebody's gonna step up. I think. I ain't gonna lie, it might be Trey Amos or Marshawn, bro. One of them. Somebody gonna make a play between them two. Mikey Sanders still been the hot hand with the turnovers last couple of weeks, but I think Marshawn or Trey Amos, one of the outside corners, is gonna have themselves a good day against this group. We'll see. But that's who it is. Either Marshawn or Trey. Where the camera at? There we go. All right, Marshawn or Trey. All right, so we have 37-24 Washington from Jay Tizzy. That's one of the other ones. And then obviously, like I said, Ben's 34-21 Washington. Okay. All right. That's gonna wrap it up for us. Again, Trap or Dive late night, Monday night. And don't forget, High Social Sunday, 11 to 7. Santana Malls to be there. Turn up with the people. Well, I don't know if you turn up. I ain't gonna put those words in his mouth. But Santana Malls to be there. Go ahead, pop out, watch the games, get some drinks, get some good food, bro. And yeah, man, enjoy y'all weekend. Stay safe. Morgan State homecoming too. Understand that. All right, we out of here. Be easy. Dre, AJ, I see y'all.
Yes, sir.
Chop it down. Chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Damn, set. Watch him throw the ball. We gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.